79 metres with a record on the screen.
79 metres.
I'm actually recording the screen. 91 metres.
91 metres.
Can you see the drone with the camera?
No. Oh, I can just see it in real life. It's all the way over there.
100 metres.
100 metres over there.
100. The Hubsan h507a. Hubsan's answer, I guess, to the tello. This is going to be a bit of a comparison, as the tello, with its optical flow and compact form, really set the bar as far as phone flown drones go. This tiny example's got a prop missing from a recent crash I had. The tello has a proprietary battery, was around £100 new, has a good camera, and I've only ever flown it with the prop guards on. I will try it without soon, but I might crash again, who knows. Anyway, no controller, phone flown. 2, no SD card, the biggest emittance, but still a good camera drone, something for flying around and putting in a backpack. Here's an alternative then. The Hubsan h507a is also phone flown. It has a couple of other tricks up its sleeve, came in at a similar price, and Hubsan's approach here, slightly bigger than the tello's as you'll notice, also has a proprietary battery, a 7.6 volt affair, more about that later. A good 720p camera on it as well, but a trick up Hubsan's sleeve. It's got the SD card recorder on for that saved glitch-free onboard footage, and for stability, instead of optical flow, it relies on GPS. This is an alternative quadcopter to the one we're showing here that has a controller, similar features though. Size-wise, as you can see, the tello wins in terms of compact form. The Hubsan is a good 10 centimetres wider from motor to motor. The design of it, however, is very similar to H502C, sort of a mole face type thing. Although that just had an onboard camera recorder, this has, as you can see, Wi-Fi to your phone, so you can see what's going on while you're flying it. About that battery, these recent range of Hubsan drones seem to have a 7.6 volt battery, which doesn't last very well. And the controller on the phone, while set out nice, doesn't have the speeds actually on the first screen, so you can change them readily. You have to go to a sub-menu of the controller and change them manually yourself here. I'll show you at the bottom of the screen. There you go. First, second and third rates, labelled junior, senior and advanced. So you have to go into that sub-menu of the controller every time you want to change speed, which is a bit odd. Because you'll see the third icon up just above the return to home is to switch a Bluetooth controller on and off. The joysticks are fairly responsive on the screen though, and it's as easy to fly as the tello. The GPS stance, the curse of every mad person flying a drone in the UK, looking even crazier, spinning a drone round. Has to be done though, to capture those satellites, and you have to wait for that to happen, don't you? As you can see, the on-screen display works well. The Wi-Fi is fairly glitch-free, and as time passes, you do get a link and you can test it. Once it's all happy and good, you're okay to take off. Now this first part of the video, and it is a bit of a longer video than I'd normally do, I do try out one of the gimmicky things, the orbit mode, but it's not really my thing. Anyway, here's it in flight, taking off with 7 satellites here, and a bit of a battery test at the same time. Now, I mentioned the batteries, this probably be about the third time, 7.6 volt affairs. I got about 4 minutes out of this, 6 minutes, and on this particular flight, around 8.5, so it must have been sat in storage for a bit. It is charging well though. I was quite impressed with it in that respect. Whilst the scenery isn't the most exciting, this was really a test of the battery and how it flies. I think I had it stuck in the lowest rate here, although it doesn't really do anything dramatically fast or anything here in the video. So as I say, the on-screen controls are quite easy to use and quite responsive. Hello, couple passing. And you can see what's going on from the Wi-Fi feed straight to your phone as well. The beginning of the video featured a range test, which also concludes at the end. Trying out the different modes available to you, here is the orbit mode. However, there's one thing about the orbit mode. I'm not quite sure what it's supposed to be orbiting. Like I say, these things are gimmicky and not really something I carried on with. You'll see why a bit more in a moment. Keep your eye on that battery level. There's a big clue. You can also see just above the record button with the red writing the actual recording time for how long it's been in the air for, which will give you an indication about the battery. Has returned to home with the GPS. It's a bit wobblier than the tello, but that SD card recorder does mean onboard footage is very well captured in terms of its own. Actually, I don't think I've got the onboard footage on here. Oh well, that's for another day then. So, this is the recording of the phone screen done by myself in the orbit mode, and as I say, it really is orbiting something. Certainly not me, or certainly not facing me while it's doing it. So, that being done and successfully concluded, I then try another mode. Unfortunately, looking at the battery indicator, it won't allow me to do this. The penny drops soon enough. Forbidden. Oh dear. So instead, I just flew it around a bit, gave the battery a test. Also went into return to home mode, which I let it, just to try it out. Again, for accuracy of its landing. Quite happy with that. Yeah, the GPS works well on it. This particular drone, as I said, works out around £25 currently. This was a Facebook Marketplace buy at that price. Only thing with Facebook Marketplace buys, if they don't work, you can't really take them back. You've got no guarantee or receipt. So whilst it's extremely cheap, and I'm chuffed to bits that this one works, I have had a few letdowns. More about that in another video. So the tello currently second-hand retails at double the price of this. So if you're on a tight budget, this could be an alternative, as it does okay. The frames per second of the camera is 25 seconds rather than the tello's 30 frames per second on that 720p image. And the drone, whilst the battery does deplete, full-time dimension battery, I'm obsessed, probably because of the H122D palaver I had. That's the FPV type drone. I've still got to do a few tests of different batteries with that, but this one was showing red, depleting quite rapidly, but actually gave a good account of itself in overall flight time. Can't believe I've been waffling for over 8 minutes. Are you still listening? As I say, the distance test concludes at the end, and whilst the scenery of this particular battery test isn't great, it does give you a good indication of what you should expect from the h507a with flight times. And as I say, I was quite pleased with it. Here's the conclusion of that test, and you can see the record time on the right hand side above the recording, as I said. Moving on, a comparison of cameras. The 30 frames per second tello does seem to wobble slightly in the air, but not quite as much as the Hubsan. Remember, it doesn't have the GPS the Hubsan does, just optical flow. The image is crisp and clear, and I must say this is about my fourth tello. I keep selling them to buy other things, but this particular tello, my fourth one, seems to have a really, really good image quality rather than a glitchy one. The very first tello I had was absolutely terrible, but the last two I've had, including this one, yeah, interference wise, I'm not using a Wi-Fi extender. There's nothing being used to top up. It really is just phone to drone, drone to phone. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. It's definitely become one of our favourites, and this one should be a keeper, he says, touch wood. So, the camera test, yes, you can see the 720 at 30 frames per second tello is very, very clear. The drone's pretty stable and delivers a nice image, and as I say, the Wi-Fi is holding up great. I didn't take any pictures as such. The tello has a really good sort of history of still images rather than moving ones because of all the glitches and stuff, but didn't need to on this one. As I say, the Wi-Fi was great. Moving into the Hubsan then, that particular one, as I say, at 25 frames per second, and the quality isn't quite as crisp. There's sort of light reflecting off surfaces that, I don't know, change the definition a bit. Still, it's okay. As I say, as a budget option. The GPS is wobbling it about a bit in the wind. But yeah, all in all, a good account of the drone. So all in all, I do like this drone. I think it's got some very redeeming features in terms of the SD card recording, which offers glitch-free footage. The GPS for stability, although not as stable as the Tello, does offer some stability, and you have that return to home on a free app. What more could you ask for 25 quid? Very happy with it. Using the same location and the same conditions. I thought this is important in fairness of the two drones, and as you can see, the Tello didn't quite move about as much as the Hubsan did. Anyway, back to that distance test. Okay, it's ready to go. So, Speed 1.
Speed 1. Really slow.
Full throttle.
Speed 1. Slow.
Speed 2.
Speed 2.
Full throttle.
Speed 2. Quite slow.
Speed 3.
Speed 3.
Full throttle.
Quite fast, but still quite slow.
I'll bring it back towards us and then I'll do a distance test. GPS test. I want you to walk around it in a circle.
Why?
Don't trip over the box.
No, it's fine. Oh, okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Distance test.
Distance test. Come in. Distance test.
Why are we sounding like DJI drones? Full throttle distance.
That's full throttle.
Oh my god. This is embarrassing. 50 meters.
Still going. 52, 53, 55, 58. Still going.
At 58 meters.
62,
62 meters.
65,
65.
66. I can no longer. I can just see the drone. 72.
Where's the drone?
80 meters. See that building with the red thing coming down?
Oh yeah, I can see it.
You see it there?
It's all the way over there. You know, you guys can't see it, but it's all the way over there.
Right, I'm just going to do something very quickly. Hopefully this doesn't wreck the app or the phone or the drone.
Now what you doing?
That.
You turned off.
I'm actually recording the screen. 91 meters.
91 meters.
Can you see the drone with the camera?
No. Oh, I can just see it in real life. It's all the way over there.
100 meters.
100 meters over there.
104 meters, drifting to the left.
104.
I'm going to try a return to home at 107 meters because I'm very happy.
107 meters.
It's doing it by itself.
107 meters can be achieved with the little battery you have. Yeah.
Battery level
Low battery.
38%. It's coming back though, look at it.
There it is. It's there. Somewhere.
It's also recording the screen of us.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really good.
Should be somewhere there. There it is. You see it there.
Oh, don't go near the tree. Don't go near the tree.
Wow.
Hey!
Hey, what did the tree?
You getting all that?
Yeah. This right doesn't turn off. Oh, it turned off.
It turned itself off.